Hello and welcome to Prado Hall. This is Evacuation to the Manor House.
On today's show, fear spreads through Prado Hall.
Leave this house now!
Anyone could be a German spy, but we don't know who.
One evacuee is caught short.
I need the toilet.
Then you'd better go and smile at the people who are digging a latrine pit.
I'll dry the whole day.
And Mrs. Dobinson gets her own back on Empire Day.
Waited years to do that.
We've transported a brand new group of girls and boys from all over the UK back in time to life as Second World War evacuees. They've been living in one of the grandest houses in the land.
Yes, do go through into the drawing room.
But they've had to earn their keep under the beady eye of the household servants downstairs.
Get on with it and take that silly look off your face.
They don't like being bossed around.
You want me to go?
I hate it.
Whilst learning the life of the Lord and Lady upstairs.
Good afternoon, Mr. Man.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dunstan. I just feel that passion. I just want to be myself. I don't like being like that.
After 10 days, the evacuees have realised the only way to survive the struggles of war
Need your gas masks. Come on, where are your gas masks?
is to stick together.
1, 2, 3, 1!
But with a surprise arrival yesterday,
What's your name? Try down, Mr. Anderson.
She looks older than her.
they're discovering in wartime Britain,
Go!
you should always expect the unexpected.
That was scary.
During the Second World War, there was a very real threat of enemy invasion. British people started seeing potential spies everywhere, even out here in the country.
So to make sure the evacuees are prepared if the enemy do come knocking,
Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Henderson. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Colonel Fanthorpe from the Home Guard is here to check that all is present and correct.
Put your hand up if you have your gas mask with you. Excellent. Show me your identity cards.
During the Second World War, every man, woman and child was issued with their own identity card, so no one would be mistaken for the enemy.
What's your name?
My name's Nisha Pigwaker.
And where do you live?
I've come from Birmingham, and at the moment I'm in Oswald Street.
Good boy. Exactly right.
You can always rely on Nish.
You have yours. Where's your identity card?
Mine's in my suitcase, Colonel.
In your suitcase, young man!
Uh-oh. The evacuees are under strict orders to have their ID cards with them at all times.
Where's your identity card?
I lost my identity card.
Lost! Lost! What would happen if a German paratrooper landed and found your identity card? He would be able to copy it, put his age on it, and use it, young man. Dear. You two boys are not up to the mark.
It's a bad start for Sam and Scott, but the Colonel has more urgent issues to deal with today, preparing Prado Hall for a potential enemy invasion.
What do you need to survive out in the woods?
Food.
Food, good girl, there's one.
Water.
Water, there's two.
Warmth and shelter.
Warm shelter, 3. You will also have to dig a fire pit, and obviously for health and safety, you will need a latrine pit.
That's the posh word for toilet girls, and it's up to you to build an emergency camp where the household can hide until help arrives.
Start looking. We're going to find somewhere we could build a shelter. All right, girls, let's have a look over here. I think I spotted somewhere.
Sharon has been chosen as team leader, so she gets the final say.
Sharon, you have a look round and decide where you're going to do it.
You've got a tree here. Yeah. You've got a tree there. You've got a tree here. And then no. How do we? Because that bit is just a bit too long for that.
Sharon can't see the wood for the trees, but that doesn't mean she wants advice.
if we did try and help, we'll probably get yelled at.
Anna, stop arguing.
You got a tree day?
New girl Sade isn't planning to just stand around and watch. She arrived at Prado Hall yesterday and failed to make a good first impression.
There's nothing funny about this. Wipe that smirk off your face, young lady, immediately.
On the staff,
Sade, I know you're new, but let's have some work out of you. Let me have that, all right? I want you to brush the yard now where all this muck is.
or the other evacuees.
And I was looking in the mirror in my bikini.
She hasn't really done any work.
Sade is even mouthier than Jade, which is amazing, because I thought that would never happen.
Come on, Sharon, you're supposed
So she's determined to make up for it today.
How about we try it, yeah? And if she shouts at us, come straight here, yeah?
Well done.
We're coming, guys!
Take just one can of peaches and one can of pears.
The boys' task is to search the house for emergency supplies,
2 cornbread, 2 spats.
including enough food to feed everyone. And Nish has been put in charge.
I think we will need some Weetabix. No, we won't. If it gets damp, it's going to be ruined.
Nish hasn't always seen eye to eye with all the boys.
You're not supposed to be running on the coal.
You're not supposed to be moaning.
But listen up, lads. Nish has excelled at everything he's done so far.
Very good.
He struck the right note with Mrs. Dobinson, hit it off with Mr. Goodall,
Right.
That could be the one. That could be the one.
charmed the locals,
May I say, you look smashing tonight. Thank you very much. Follow your spirit, and upon this
and
task,
even scored points with the formidable Miss Young.
and St. George.
Very well done, Hedgie.
A confident Nish is convinced they only need the bare essentials.
As leader of this group, I think everyone should take my word for it. We're not taking Weetabix, and that's that.
Well, that's told them.
We need can opener and something to eat with, cutlery. But we'll take 13, one for each of us.
Well, Nish seems to have thought of everything.
Okie dokie, let's go.
They've got the food. Now all they have to do is hide it, along with anything else that could aid the Germans if they took over Prado Hall. Such as maps to identify their position, fuel to keep them warm, and even Mr. Henderson's set of wheels.
Remember where that bike's going to go, because I need that for my transport.
I am very, very proud of my troops, people like Dan, Sean and Jack, who will do what they're told, no questions asked, and do it well.
Who's got the peaches?
I don't know where.
Oh no, not the peaches! Thank goodness they've still got the fruit cocktail to hide.
I think, chaps, we're going to have to lay the sack in there and then pile the earth back over it.
I think it's pretty good, actually. Unless the Germans specifically knew that there was food buried and that it was here, they would not find it.
The question is, Nish, will you be able to find it?
Oh, the string was crack, break, break. Can someone hold
Over at the shelter, all is not well with the girls. Sharon is struggling to motivate her troops.
Come on, Sharon. What's the next plan?
The plan is that we all have to work as a team, but some people aren't.
Sharon's a bit bossy.
Just because you're in charge, don't boss me about Sharon.
It's because I'm in charge that I'm supposed to boss you about Jade, and you're not doing anything. You're just standing there like a statue.
I don't care, don't boss me about.
Jade, why don't you go and sit down in a corner and be happy and drink a cup of tea?
I'd love to do that, you know.
Go and do it then.
I can't. The reason why we ain't doing this, you know why? Because everyone's telling people what to do. If we just go with the flow, and then you can get it.
Once again, it's down to new girl Sade to keep the peace.
Well, let's hope your fire pit is actually finished by the time we finish everything.
It will be. I was just standing there waiting for Sade to move the shovel, and she was going, oh, you're not doing nothing. And she started opening a big gob. Just because she's the boss, though, doesn't mean she's bossed everyone about. What is that there?
Keep going.
Finally, the girls put their differences behind them and pulled together to create a cosy makeshift camp. But Mr. Goodall has noticed a big mistake.
They need to build a latrine so they can have somewhere to go to do a wee or a poo.
Sorry, Mr. Goodall?
Somewhere to go to do a wee or a poo. Simple as that.
Let's just hope the enemy don't invade any time soon.
There's a future for Britain after all with you lot. Bless their little hearts. If they don't frighten Hitler, they certainly frighten me.
All this enemy talk has set the evacuees' minds racing.
Anyone could be a German spy, but we don't know who.
I don't think it'd be Cook, because if Cook wanted to, she could poison us all, you see.
Like, everyone's going, oh, Miss Dobinson's one, Miss Tenson's one. You know, there's that little glint in his eye.
I'd pick Miss Young. Even the way that she holds the cane in her hand that she used to point at the blackboard is just scary.
Pay attention!
Britain doesn't have an empire anymore, but during the Second World War, British colonies from all over the world rallied to our cause with soldiers and supplies. Their loyalty was remembered every year in a celebration of patriotism known as Empire Day.
Tomorrow, Prado Hall will host its own celebrations, and Miss Young wants her pupils prepared.
Sit down.
She's planned a tough test for the evacuees. How much do they know about the countries of the Empire? They've every right to look nervous. Last time they grappled with geography, their interpretations of Britain were far from great.
Hold your book beside it and show everyone. Are you pleased with that, Barry? I should think not. I'm somewhat devoid of comment.
Today, Miss Young has picked a different country for each evacuee to study, but they've got to find them first.
Point out India. Tell us what you know about it.
India.
Well done.
India is my home country.
Amazingly, Sharon arrived in the UK less than a year ago and hasn't looked back.
I got loads of awards last year. I got A's in English, maths, science, dance, RE, geography, history, music, and so many other subjects I can't remember. Je parle français and le Tamil தெரியும், and I can also speak English.
What comes from your country to the country you are in now?
Having lived in India for most of her life, this should be a doddle for Sharon.
Spices, Miss Young. Gold, Miss Young.
Anything else?
Price, Miss Young.
Good girl.
Sharon is in Miss Young's good books. Time now for new girl Sade to shine.
Find Canada.
Canada.
Miss Young, can I ask a question? Do you know what part of Canada, where Canada is on the map?
Ooh, Sade could be in big trouble. You don't speak unless you're spoken to first.
I know where Canada is on the map. I wonder whether you do.
It seems Miss Young has made an exception for the new girl.
There you go, Miss Young.
The others shouldn't expect such an easy ride.
What's the country called again?
Gibraltar.
Oh dear, it looks like this lot don't know their Gibraltar from their Malta.
Australia. It's a very large country.
It's looking at me, isn't it?
These 21st century children may be streetwise, but they're certainly not worldly wise.
Point out for us all, Egypt.
Just there, Miss Young.
Nish comes up trumps again.
Hector, that was very, very quick indeed. Good. Now for home.
For the big celebration tomorrow, each evacuee must do a presentation based on a country of the Empire, and they've definitely got their work cut out.
I was thinking that I'd have loads of homework to do because I've got to obviously study Canada and find out lots about it.
Their knowledge of the Empire is very patchy. I would say half the class had no knowledge whatsoever.
If I mess up, it's going to reflect badly, not on your Lord and Lady Olmsted, but on Miss Young. And if it reflects badly on Miss Young, then we're all doomed.
It's been a strenuous few hours, and just as the evacuees get to kick back and relax, there's news of an enemy invasion.
Listen up. This is a county-wide drill. The General at headquarters has instructed every large house in this county to behave as if paratroopers had landed. So, as quickly as you can, leave this house now, 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 now.
As part of the drill, everyone must evacuate the house as quickly as possible and retreat to the makeshift camp.
Thank you, Goodall.
That's all right, sir.
The evacuees have no idea when they'll next experience home comforts.
Sharon, what didn't get done this morning?
Colonel, unfortunately we didn't have enough time to dig a latrine pit.
Would you designate one of the girls to go and dig that pit now, please?
Jaden. Sade, would you please do it? Because you did a really good job on
Thanks,
that.
Sharon.
So, as the unlikely trio go on their way, the others collect firewood and attempt to find the supplies hidden earlier.
Where's the stuff with the firewood in and paper?
And it's not long before Sharon thinks she's found the perfect location for the toilet.
We're behind some bushes so the person can get privacy and they get to do whatever they want there.
Good plan. Except they've just spent the last 10 minutes digging the loo slap bang in the middle of a public footpath. If that's not bad enough, Jade has gone AWOL.
Why are you not moving and helping what?
Because I need the toilet.
Then you'd better go and smile at the people who are digging a latrine pit.
I'd rather hold it in.
That's fine.
As the fire gets started,
That's it. So you'll use it.
thoughts turn to food. Or should I say lack of it.
Well, cook. Is that going to feed us all?
By my calculations, that's 9 tins for 21 people, minus the lord and lady who were away for the day.
I am worried about the amount of food that we have because we don't know how long we're going to be out here.
And to make matters worse, the boys have forgotten the plates and spoons.
If this was a real invasion, we'd fail miserably.
It's not all bad, Nish. With the help of the boys, Sharon has finally made a toilet. All we need now is a willing volunteer.
Right, I'm going to test it.
Okay.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, come away. I'm sure no one wishes to see the ablutions in action.
How was it, Daniel?
Perfect.
Then we're going to have something to eat, are we? Yes. We've got plates and everything, have we?
Well, at least they've got a choice.
Yeah.
Corned beef or spam.
They're better called.
With so little to go round, the evacuees need to get in quick.
Come back for more.
But one boy has completely lost his appetite.
No, the boys can't. Because this is our supper, forkful of spam or corned beef, a bit of fruit with it, and then condensed milk to top it all off.
Down now round the fire.
I'm just dying for a ham sandwich. And that might not sound like a lot, but I just am.
Literally, I wanted like a whole can of everything to myself, not to sound greedy or nothing, but I did. It was a disaster, but it was a good disaster, but it was a disaster.
Despite their hungry tummies, the evacuees have done just enough to convince the Colonel they'll know what to do next time.
Your efforts, working together as a team, will save this country from the invader.
Really, Colonel?
So well done. 3 cheers for the King. Hip hip! Hurrah! Hip hip! Hurrah! Hip hip! Hurrah!
What are you laughing at?
So as Mr. Henderson gets on his newly retrieved bike, it's back indoors to the safety of what they now consider home for a hot cup of cocoa and an early night. They'll need to save all their energy because tomorrow is Empire Day.
Land of hope and glory. Throughout the war, celebrating being British became a national pastime, and there was no greater celebration than Empire Day.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Come on. Really, really special day today.
Yeah, God save George VI and Gibraltar, because that's the country I'm representing.
Empire Day wasn't just a cause for celebration, but an opportunity to help with the war effort. And Lord and Lady Olmsted have a very important announcement to make.
Morning, Lordship.
Morning, Hans.
The evacuees. This way, please. Girls and boys.
And it's Sade's first glimpse of life above stairs.
It's a very big day for us here at Prado. We've decided that because we've got the whole village coming up here, we really ought to do something to help raise money for the Spitfire Fund.
So his lordship has requested a fete where the evacuees will run stalls to help pay for a Spitfire, one of the most feared fighter planes of World War II.
But every penny that you can make today is really going to make a difference. So you get along, have your breakfast, and have a good day. And we'll see you later.
Sade even nails the tricky exit before heading to breakfast, where the talk at the table is all about the fete.
Now, I think it'd be nice for us all to see which stall would make the most money. So I'm going to have a girls' team and I'm going to have a boys' team.
Next up is the all-important decision. Which stall will be a money spinner?
Ready?
Heads.
Are you sure?
The girls get first dibs, and there's no hesitation.
The sponge attack.
Brilliant choice. You can't beat throwing a wet sponge.
Right, boys, what have you decided?
With their number one choice gone, the boys are looking far from happy. Fortunately, Mr. Henderson's full of good ideas.
The welly throwing would be quite good, I think. So you boys are going for wellies, yes?
You go for welly, yeah.
And you girls are going for the sponge. We better raise money, girls.
You will. You will. You would.
So the girls are oozing with confidence as outside Prado Hall, Empire Day preparations are well and truly underway. Sponges are soaking, the wellies are waiting, and the flags are flying high.
I'm really excited about it because I've never been to an Empire Day before.
All the evacuees need to do now is get into character for their big performance. And Mrs. Dobinson has found an old dressing-up chest in the attic to help.
I'm trying to look like someone who's Chinese and comes from Hong Kong, but there's not much stuff in here, so you need to use your imagination.
And their imaginations are running wild.
I look like a person with very bad fashion.
I think I look a bit like Michael Jackson, but it'll have to do.
Where did you get that hat? Check that.
Why, do you fancy one for yourself, Miss Young?
I think I look quite smart, and if there are any Ceylonians out there, Ceylonians, I can't remember, sorry, peace out.
Outside, the locals are arriving in their droves. Today's celebrations are a welcome distraction from the hardship of war. Inside, the evacuees put the finishing touches to their costumes.
It's time to represent the Empire.
The anticipation here on the lawn at Prado Hall is really building. We're expecting the evacuees to appear any moment now.
It's brilliant. Loving the feather, Daniel. And I'm assuming that that is Jack underneath that very shiny helmet.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's splendid to see you here today. Welcome to Prado. As you know, we have some evacuees here, and they too are going to play their bit. They are going to present aspects of the Empire to you. Thank you.
The evacuees certainly look the part, but have they done their homework? First up is Daniel, or should I say, the Governor-General of Ceylon, now commonly known as Sri Lanka.
Ceylon. I am a large and prominent island south of India. I was part of the East India Company in the 18th century. My people speak Tamil and Sinhalese.
Daniel's come up trumps there. Wonderful.
And with that, the other evacuees deliver their presentation with confidence and gusto.
I'm Jamaica. In 1494, Christopher Columbus discovered me.
My most famous feature is the Rock of Gibraltar, which is one of the Pillars of Hercules. I used to be part of China, but in 1898, I was leased to Britain for 99 years.
The Egyptian pharaohs have ruled me and have built great pyramids and monuments to their gods, which have lasted for over 3,000 years.
Well done, Nish. After a poor show in yesterday's invasion drill, he's back to his old self. Last to take the stage is Sharon.
I am an Indian, and I'm here today to proudly represent my country, India. She's often referred to, famously by Queen Victoria, as the jewel in her crown. She grows tea.
Sharon proves a great ambassador for her home country.
For you to drink with a biscuit. Thank you.
The evacuees have impressed Miss Young no end. All that remains now is for the vicar to kickstart the proceedings.
It gives me great pleasure to declare open this fete in support of our local war effort.
Wonderful news! Prado Hall Empire Fair is now officially open, so the evacuees can get on with the business of raising funds for the Spitfire.
The stalls are quickly up and running.
Throw these wellies, they belong to the Lord.
And desperate to raise the most funds, the girls have found a surprise target for their sponge attack. But who could it be? It's Mr. Henderson. Well done, your lordship. Throwing a wet sponge at Mr. Henderson proves to be a winning formula. Even Mrs. Dobinson can't resist a goal.
Throw from Mrs. Dobinson.
Waited years to do that.
Just look at the length of the queue to give Mr. Henderson a good soaking. I'm next. Carry on raising money. Go on, keep it going. Brilliant.
The girls persuaded me by saying they would take care of me and look after me. So after that reassurance, I said yes. I must have been a fool.
This is going great. I think we made a brilliant decision because everybody loves throwing a sponge at Mr. Henderson.
But it's not all going the girls' way. Over on the boys' team, the welly wanging is really taken off.
Show those wellies a piece of your mind.
Daniel, what are your tactics? Because I think the girls are doing pretty good.
I made up a really rubbish joke.
Go on, let's hear it.
Roll up, roll up. Why did the chickens cross the road?
Go on.
To come to our welly wanging stall.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good, yeah.
Very good, Miss Young.
So there's one final push from both teams.
You know you want to have a go.
Not only to win the competition, but to raise as much money as possible for the Spitfire.
Hang on, the scores are in. Let's have a look.
Please tell me we won. Please tell me we won.
Right. So, how much money have we made from the boys' team?
£1.
Girls, how much did we make?
£1.10.
So who are the winners?
It might not sound much, but back in the 1940s, the £2.10 they've raised is about the same as £100 today. And what better way to celebrate than with a sing-song?
Suck it in and stand by for the land of hope and glory.
The best thing about Empire Day was probably the way that everybody sort of came together as a family. Everyone feels really close and just like you can tell them anything and it's just really nice. Can't say one bad thing about today. Everyone had a good time. Everyone really enjoyed it, and so did I. We are now part of Prado Hall.
Next time, the three little piggies come to visit.
I have never been this close to a pig.
Dinner is a little too fresh.
That's just to stand still.
And it's showtime at Prado Hall.
Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun.
I thought it was a nightmare, but it turned out to be real life.
So you know, like, what's hot?
What? What's hot?
Whoa! Steady on there, Justin Bieber. In your imagination!
Sorry, mate. I'm so sorry.
Enjoy you idiots! Custard! A brand new series! Yay! I'm sorry I've got no head. Starts Friday at 5 on the CBBC channel.
That is not going to wash out.